today during my workout at the gym, I got to thinking about something that has nothing to do with a physical workout. It has to do with recovery from high control religion. It has to do with the internal, mental, emotional, spiritual things that we're trying to recover from. But I want to relate it to the physical workout just for a minute because it has to do with the way we think. And believe it or not, the way we think can affect even a physical workout. So, for example, if we are physically working out at a gym and we want to exercise our biceps, right over here, um, we're probably going to do arm curls or maybe chin ups or something that's going to work that muscle group. And it works great. It's hard work, but it's easy to isolate those muscles because we use them all the time anyway. But now, what if we want to work on something like our chest muscles, our pecs or pectorals? That's a difficult muscle group to isolate to actually get to be participating in a workout. Because whether we're doing chest presses or push ups or anything that's supposed to work our pecs, we're really using our arms more than anything else. Once again, we mainly use our arms and our legs with all the workouts that we do. So the what we're trying to work out is not easy to do. It's not easy to isolate. So here's what I've done. This is works for me. I don't know if it would work for you, but it's just a shift in my mind. I just start thinking when I'm doing chest presses, let's say, I just start thinking about my pecs, not about how to use them differently to get them more involved in the workout than my arms. I'm just thinking about how they feel and how they're responding and what I'm accomplishing. And before you know it, I can physically feel a difference in my pecs as I'm working out. Even though I'm still mainly using my arms, I could feel the muscle group that I'm trying to work on, and that has a very positive effect. So it's a shift in the mind, is what it is. So, what does that have to do with high control group recovery? Well, probably or almost definitely the hardest thing most or all of us have to deal with is the shunning. And there are several reasons for that. We probably are just mainly thinking about the fact that we've lost the love and affection of our parents, perhaps, our children, or perhaps our grandparents or grandchildren. That's something that we have very little, if any, power over. And it's very frustrating and very, very hurtful, frankly. So let's just shift our minds for a minute and get off of that topic just for a moment. It's not going to go away anyhow. But what about shunning can we work on? Well, think about the purpose of the shunning. The reason that they have that system is to do two things. One is to make your life so miserable that you'll just want to come back, which makes no sense. I mean, how many people have you ever seen actually go back and be happy? I mean, they might act happy when they're reinstated and everything, but does it really produce a person that's improved themselves in some way? Maybe sometimes, but not all the time. So it's kind of a counterintuitive system that they're going to make you get better by making you feel lousy. That just doesn't work. You don't make somebody feel lousy with the intent of making them feel better. You just make them feel lousy about themselves. The other thing is the sense of shame that it creates in us. And what I mean by that is not necessarily shame over what we perhaps have done. Maybe we have done something according to their rules that necessitated the disfellowshipping or whatever it is. And maybe that is a bad thing. Maybe it was a bad thing to do in any sense of the word, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just their rules. Most of the time, that's what it is. It's their rules that we broke. So that doesn't necessarily make us a bad person. It doesn't make us somebody that's worthy of the shame of shunning. So if we feel ashamed about it, ashamed about ourselves, I don't mean just simple guilt. I mean shame, where we really think that I'm a bad person. Because guilt is what about how we feel about what we've done. Shame is feeling about who we are. And if we continue to have that feeling, it might be buried there somewhere because the main thing is we've lost the love and affection of loved ones, family members perhaps. But the shame is only really there because it matters to us what they think. Because when you think about it, nobody else cares. You know, if you go to the grocery store and ring up your groceries with the cashier, do they look at you? I mean, if they're not Jehovah's Witnesses, do they look at you and say, "Oh, this is that person that did this thing, this is that disfellowship person. They didn't even know what that term means. Nobody knows what it means except Jehovah's Witnesses and of course us, but it's just what they think about us. And they'll always say, well, we wouldn't treat you the way we do if you didn't do what you did and if you were repentant over it, or you were repentant over it. So you're the one that decided to be disfellowshipped. Well, that's circular thinking. It's ridiculous. Obviously, they're the ones that have decided to not fellowship with us anymore. So if it really concerns us what they think about us, what we really need to do is shift our mind. Again, get our mind off of our biceps and put them on our pecs or whatever it is we're trying to work on, and work on the thing that we can work on and not worry about the things we can't work on. So again, if we can't practically do anything about getting their love and affection back anytime soon, at least we can work on who we are as a person and how we feel about ourselves. And it has everything to do with not associating ourselves anymore with that organization. We are not defined by it. It doesn't tell us who we are and what kind of person we are. It has nothing to do with anything anymore. So the other thing that I noticed in my workout today was, this goes back a couple of weeks. I was working on an easy exercise in the sense of isolation. It's a tricep exercise where you kind of push down like that, or you can use counterweight. Either way, it's an easy muscle group to work on if you've got the right equipment. And the machine I was using goes up to 260 pounds, and I'm using it at, I don't know, like 170 or something. I don't want to strain too much, but it is a good idea to max out. That's how you make progress. But this gentleman who was a little bit shorter than me, I'm 6'2", so he might have been 5'11" or something, or maybe even 5'10", and not particularly, maybe about my age, late 50s maybe. Probably built pretty well, but nothing spectacular, not like muscle bound. And he gets on this machine and he's doing the maximum amount. He's doing 260 pounds. I'm thinking, how in the world is he doing? So he gets off and it's my turn. And I said, well, you know what? Let me just try, because this guy did it and he's shorter than me and not a whole lot more muscular, perhaps a little bit. And I can't move it. I was like, holy mackerel, I'm putting all my weight on it. It's not moving at all. So I take off 20 pounds, same thing, another 20 pounds, same thing. And I go back down to like 170, a little more than I had been at before, but it still wasn't close to what this guy was doing. So I did my little thing and I went on. And then I approached him afterwards. I said, excuse me, but when you were on that tricep press before, were you doing 260 pounds, the maximum? And he says, yeah. I said, can I ask you how? Because I'm taller than you. I mean, you probably got more muscles than me, but I'm not able to even get that. I take 40 pounds off and I still can't move it a half an inch, So he goes over and he shows me how you got to plant your feet and you got to, and what it really came down to was you just got to believe you can do it. Well, I'm thinking he's kind of crazy because, if I wanted to lift the car up, I can't just do it because I believe I can do it. There are things that are not possible to do, right? And maybe this 260 pounds is one of them. And so I tried it and it just didn't work. I said, well, hats off to him. And this is a couple of weeks ago. So I've been going back and back and back, and I've been adding a little bit here and there, but not 260 pounds. I'm still down at like 180 or something. And today I just said, you know what? It seems like it's getting easier to do the 180. I said, what the heck? After I finished my entire workout, all the other things, I went back and I tried the 260 and I did it. I did a bunch of reps too, not just did it once and killed myself. It worked. And I just thought, how did I just do that? I couldn't have done it. And it's not because my muscles have grown so much. When you're at my age, it doesn't work that quickly. It was just in the mind. I just figured out how to do it. And again, I'm not talking about lifting up a car. I'm talking about something that is humanly attainable. So that, I think, illustrates what we can accomplish if we just shift our thinking. If we believe we can't do something, we probably can't. But who told us that? Who convinced us that we can't do it? Who convinced us that we can't go to college or get that job or be an entrepreneur or be happy? Just have the goal of being happy. So it really has to do with mind shifts, whether it's dealing with the shunning thing or just making progress. I just think it's really an interesting thing to see how our mind can affect our physical bodies So if it can affect our physical bodies, it should be able to affect our internal self more easily, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's the mind controlling the emotions. So I hope you got something out of this, and thanks for listening.